Hello there, welcome back to Scribbles and Inkstains. My name is Mary, and can you tell what I did by the clues on my page? So if you're familiar with my channel, you have probably seen me reference my Wanted journal. This is a Traveler's Company vertical weekly, which I decided to use in 2023 to track my stationery hobby, my fountain pen hobby, what I have, what I'm tempted by, in order to slow down my rate of acquisition from 2022. And I thought I would go over the first quarter with you and end with a new to me pen launching the second quarter of the year. All right, so running through this vertical weekly, what I decided to do was list any pen purchases here on these monthly pages. So as you can see, January, February, March, the only purchase was on February 22nd. I picked up 2 of the Jinhao 82s. That was an Amazon purchase, and that was like 2 pens for $8 or something ridiculous like that. Yes, it's a Chinese knockoff of the Sailor Pro Gear. Both of mine write beautifully out of the box. So in general, this journal, all the way through the end of March, did a really good job of being a holding tank where I could list things, work my way through reflecting process. Right here, for instance, I journaled about the Pilot 823, and I don't know how, but I was really caught off guard by the price increase at the beginning of the year. I received a gift certificate for Christmas, and in the back of my mind, I was going to use that gift certificate to pick up this kind of holy grail pen, and I decided not to. I was just really irritated that the pen went up in price to the degree that it did, especially since the exchange rate remained so favorable for the US dollar compared to the Japanese yen. Everything about that rubbed me the wrong way. So I decided instead in April to pick up a pen that I've always been really attracted to, the Esterbrook Estie. As you can see right here, I may have done some other damage, but there's a story behind that, so I'll hold off on that. You'll have to wait till the next video. If you're not yet subscribed and you're interested in my first impressions of this pen, clickbait, go ahead and hit subscribe and you'll be notified of that when it posts. This video is just to give you an overall month-long first impression of my Esterbrook Estie in the colorway Botanical Gardens, which I picked up with a medium nib. And I did select the pen with one of their regular, not their custom grinds, because again, if I get a custom grind, I want it to be at a pen show where I can try the grinds before I commit. And I've never been to a pen show. We've got one coming up. The Triangle Pen Show in Raleigh is the day after graduation, so I'll be able to hightail it up there. It'll be a little day trip. I will bring my husband to keep me from blowing the whole bank, and I think it sounds like a lot of fun. And at that point, I've got a little mad money that my intention is, if I see a pen I love, to get a custom grind there at the pen show, just to round out that kind of pen show experience. Just a couple notes on the nib as reviewing the writing sample. This is a number 6 Jowo nib. It's a stainless nib. It is branded with kind of a two-tone Esterbrook logo with the scroll work. I'll try to get some close-up footage of that. It has a lovely feed that keeps up with the writing. With the number 6 nibs, I'm starting to realize that one of the benefits is that I can get through a full page of writing and it doesn't necessarily go completely pale. I can still see, as I continue on with the writing, that it continues to flow quite well. And the big wet nib allows for shading inks to really shine. So since that's my current love in terms of fountain pen inks, especially with this Troublemaker Hanging Rice, if you look really closely at that swab running across the top of the page, you can see the ink composition of the ink wants to sort of separate out into very yellow grassy greens and darker grayer blues. And I feel like you get that all the way through the writing sample as well. I love that. This is certainly one of my favorite pen ink combinations of the month. I did not have any hard starts. Let's talk about materials, because I don't see in the Esterbrook Estie reviews, I don't really see much of a discussion of the fact that part of the price consideration of these pens is because these are turned pens, and that is a much more labor-intensive process than injection molding. So an injection molded pen is basically injected under pressure, the plastic, into a mold. It's more cost-effective in terms of manufacturing, and there are some telltale signs. If you run your thumbnail over the section, you can generally find the seam in an injection molded pen. Now, this is a Sailor, and honestly, I'm a little surprised that they neglected to polish that seam on this section of the pen, because everywhere else on the pen body, they polish that seam so it's not obvious. And the one place that your hand actually grips, they did not do that. So that's a little surprising to me. Obviously, the price point is more determined by the fact that this has a 14 karat nib. Now, this still has a higher quality feel than a TWSBI, for instance, but this is in a completely different league. This has a heft and a hand feel that just pays such beautiful attention to detail. It has a warmth. It has a perfect balance. I probably will not post because I'm not really a pen poster. I don't lose my caps because I'm typically journaling right there at a desk or at my writing desk. I also feel like I have a fairly small hand. All right, so palm to start of the middle finger is 4 inches. And across the widest part of my hand is 3 inches. So I'm quite comfortable even writing with my Sailor Pro Gear Slims unposted. That's very comfortable to me. Typically I do post the Sailors. I guess I've contradicted myself there, but that's okay. This is the perfect weight and fit for my hand without posting it. Very comfortable to write with. On my Benu pen, which also has a number 6 nib, I find the pen less comfortable than this one. This just is so nicely engineered. The little bump out right there at the section where it flares a little bit is so comfortable to my hand. The threads where the cap attaches are beautifully finished. They are not sharp at all. The male end of the section screws into the pen body, has a metal fitting on the female end as well, which is super high quality. It just gives this a lovely build quality. I love all of the trim. I love the design on the nib. I just think this is such a tasteful pen model, and I can absolutely see myself looking for another one up there at the Triangle Pen Show in Raleigh. And at that point, I'm probably looking at the tortoise shell with a custom grind, unless they release something else that's just really gorgeous, because it seems like they have about 4 special editions released every year, which keeps it fun. Love the pen. I have had a wonderful experience with it in April. And for my next video, as soon as I finish editing this one, I'll be filming and giving you a first impression of this pen, the Pilot Custom 843, which I came into a little bit of an extra supplemental pay at school because I picked up an additional 3 classes through the end of the academic year. I decided to treat myself for all that extra hard work. Let me know what your experiences are. If you have an Esterbrook Estie, or if you have your eye on a favorite color, I would love to hear about it. And yeah, if you have tried any of the new custom nib grinds that they offer, please let me know in the comments. I would love to pop over and check them out on your channel. Yeah, so I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for your time. See you soon. Ciao.